In this video, we're going to show you how to use the Vlookup function. So the Vlookup function allows you to look up a particular value. Let's say we have here some sales transactions in this data set or this table. So you can see here the dates when these items were, say, sold, and these are the product numbers for these items. Now, however, we don't know what these items are, so we need the item name or the name for these items, and the price for each of these items. So how do we do that? So basically, it's just like looking at the price list, right? So we're going to be looking up the items here under the product number column in column B. So for example, here in B4, I want to look up the product number 100 in another table or data set over here at the right side, starting from J3 all the way to L9. Okay, so we have here another column, or the first column here, as you can see, is the product number as well. So there is the product numbers are here. So 100 all the way to 305, and notice there are each product number has a name, okay, a name column, and the price column. So we know that, let's say, product number 100 is a pencil, and it's $1.50. Okay, so ideally, what we're trying to do is to look up this product number here in column B, in B4 specifically, in this table, in this lookup table or table array here. So we found it, product number 100, and we would like to retrieve here in column K the name pencil and place it over here. At the same time, we would like to get the price over here, 150 or $1.50 into column D in price. So that's what the Vlookup function does. It looks up a value, in this case, this amount over here in column B, B4, looks it up in a table right here at the right side. And when it finds it, it will try to retrieve data that are found in other columns within that table array. Okay, so let's try that. I'm going to start here in the item name. We would like to get the item name, which is coming from here in column K, into this column, column C. So I'm going to use the Vlookup function. To start off, I'm going to place my cell pointer in C4. And I'm just going to use the function button right here. And I'm going to be looking for the Vlookup function. Now, here, there's the Vlookup function available here. If it is not there, you can look up by typing the name of the function right here. I'm going to type it in, Vlookup. I can do that. Like there, right? Let me just zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in. Hopefully. There you go. See, I typed in Vlookup. And if I click OK, or rather go, it should lead me to the function right here, Vlookup. Okay, so that's how to look for a function in the function or insert function dialog box. All right. So I'm going to click Vlookup right here. I'll click OK. Now let's take a look at the different, what do you call these different arguments that are available in this dialog box, this function dialog box. Let's start with the lookup value. And then we also have the table array and the column index number. We're going to ignore the range lookup value for now. In this lesson, but we're going to try these three other arguments right here. Okay, lookup value, table array, and column index number. Now let's try this. Let's start with the lookup value. Now, what value do we want to look up in this table right here? Okay, so we want to look up this one here in column B, B4 specifically, right? So I'm going to click B4, and so therefore you see B4 right there. Okay, and then what is my table array? The table array contains the prices, the names for the different product numbers, and that's actually over here at the right side. So I'm going to select that table. Notice that I did not include the titles over here. So I started with J4 all the way to L9. Okay, as you can see here, J4 to L9. Okay, there you go. Now, there's one thing I will be doing here. J4 to L9 is okay, but we need to add dollar symbols right here before J, before 4. So there's something I'm trying to do here right now, which is to add these dollar symbols, $J. Okay, I'm gonna type $4, and then also $L. So notice there's a colon because it's a range of cells, and then $9. What does that mean? It still means the same address, which is this one here, J4 to L9. However, by placing the dollar symbols before the column, which is J and L, $J and $L, and also $4 and $9, we are making this entire data set or range of cells a permanent one. We don't want that to change at all when we start copying the formulas to the other cells. So for example, here we're actually creating the formula right here in C4. When we finish this formula, we intend to copy that formula over to the other cells downward, right? Now, in order for the cells J4 to L9 to remain J4 to L9, we need to put in these dollar symbols, as you can see here. Okay, I'll show you a shortcut later, and maybe I'll also show you what happens if we didn't place these dollar symbols. The dollar symbol actually makes the cell addresses absolute. That means they will not change at all. Okay, they will be sort of like locked in, okay, into these cells. So what about the column index number? Okay, so the column index number is like, just imagine here in this table we're looking up B4, which is right here. We are looking up B4, this cell in this table right here. So it's going to be looking up the first column of that table range, which is column J. Okay, and we want to grab or to get the name of the item or the name of the product number. So the item name right here. So the name is on the second column. So if you count the number of columns in order to get the name, you need to get the second column in this table array. And so therefore, what we need to type in here in column index number is number 2, because we want to retrieve the second column in this table array, which is J4 to L9. Okay, so I'm going to ignore the range lookup, and then I will just be clicking OK. There it is. See? So 100, the item 100 is pencil, and that is correct, as you can see here. 100 is pencil. Now, let's take a look at the other products. And I'm going to take a look at the formula. I'm going to place my cell pointer here in C4 where the formula is. Take a look at the formula right there. Okay, and I want to copy that formula. I'm going to use the autofill function, and there you go. So you can see there 105 is ball pen. That is correct. 100 is again pencil. 200 is a brush. That is correct. And let's see here. 300 is a color pencil set. That's correct. 205 is watercolor. Let's see, this is 205. Yeah, watercolor. That is correct. So the VLOOKUP function is working, right? There's one thing I'd like to point out as well. Our table array right here, if you notice, is sorted in the first column. See, the product number is sorted from lowest to highest, 100 to 305. And that is usually a good practice in order for this function to work properly. All right, so let's try the price this time. We're gonna be using the VLOOKUP function again. So I'm gonna go to the function button, VLOOKUP. I'm going to choose VLOOKUP. Lookup value is the same, right? B4. We want to look up the product number 100 here into our table right here. So I'm going to place my cell pointer to, rather my cursor to the next cell here, to the next item table array, and I'm going to select these cells, which is from, J4 to L9. Okay, so am I supposed to place in the dollar symbols here again? Yes. Okay. But just for this instance, I'm not going to do that. And let's see what happens. Okay. So column index number, this time we want to retrieve the price, right? Because on this column where our formula is, we want to get the price. So what is the price? The price is on the third column of this table. So I'm going to type in 3 over here. And that should work. Let's see. Okay, yes, that is 1.5 or 150. Now let me just format this column here. Let's see if we can do that here. Okay, 150. But okay, it seems to be working. But notice the formula over here at the top in the formula bar, or maybe I'll just double click here. Notice the formula. B4 is the lookup value right here. J4 to L9 is actually this table array, and 3 is the third column in this table array. Okay, it's working fine. But also notice that J4 to L9, the range of cells that we have here in this function does not have the dollar symbols, unlike the formula or function we created in column C. So what happens now? If I copy this function here in D4, downward, will it work? No, it doesn't, because look here in the first cell. If you look at the formula, it says here we're going to be looking up B4, where in the table array J4 to L9, which is this one here, that's correct. But when we get to the next cell here in D5, look at the function VLOOKUP B5, that is still correct. And it's moving to B5 because when you're copying formulas, the cell addresses also move, okay, or are moving to the next to the next cell that is in the relative position. So here we have J5 to L10. If you look at that, look at the highlighted section here, this is no longer correct because it's J5 to L10. It starts from here, but it should always be pointed at J4 to L9, right? So this is already a mistake. So how do you correct that? How do we correct that? And we can correct that. Let me just erase this one. We can correct that by adding the dollar symbols to J4 to L9. Okay, so we can just type it in right here in the formula, or we can select J4 to L9 if you want, like that, and then press the F4 key on your keyboard. So let me just press that. And voila, notice it now says $J4, or rather $J and $4, and then colon, and we have $L and $9. It's still J4 to L9, but it's using the absolute address. That means that this absolute address for this range of cells will remain as is, and it will not change when we copy the formula to the other cells downward. Okay, so let me just press enter to save that change in the function. You can also do that, by the way, by clicking the cell and clicking the function button, and you can change that over here, okay, in the table array. You can type the dollars, or you can just select the entire table array. Let me just try it here. Select that entire table array, and then just you can type in the dollars, $J, $4, and then $L and $9, or just select the entire bit. Okay, let me see if we can just zoom in over here. So here we have J4 to L9, so I can just select that and then just press the F4 key. We did that earlier in a different manner by typing the formula directly into the cell, but here we're doing it in the dialog box. Okay, so that's how it can be done. And then I'll just click OK. There's 150. If I copy that formula, I'm using the handle here, okay, to extend that, okay, the autofill handle. So now we can see the price is correct for the ball pen, which is the product number 105. It's $2. That's correct. For the brush, which is item 200, and that is $5. There you go. And let's see the last one here, 305. What is that? 305. The price is $20, and that is correct. That's the technical pen. Okay, so that's what the VLOOKUP does. It looks up a particular item or value from your transactional table and look it up in a table array. This is sort of like a price list, and then returns the equivalent value into the cell where the function is. Okay, so that's VLOOKUP. Hopefully this is going to be useful for you in exploring VLOOKUP. We will have more videos about VLOOKUP in the future. Okay, thank you very much and have a great day.